this weekend yet?
Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. You know, they called us and it happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But with young players, I'm always thinking about last week making the change to Dylan. You have to think long and hard about that because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out and make a decision later.
Everybody gets a trophy in NIL where nobody fights for a starting job. I ain't started. I'm going to go leave and start somewhere else. Get the fuck out of my face talking noise until you know what you're talking about. I will dominate this era of football. Dominate. Football's not about running fast. It's not about speed. It's about getting the job done. It's about getting the job done. And you won't tell me you know somebody that got the job done better than me? Better than Jerry Rice, that you're going to use our picture and trying to make your point? Are you stupid or are you stupid? That's why I hate everybody got a podcast, everybody got a voice, and everybody don't know what the hell they're talking about. There was separate from ball, separation from the football, and it was allowed, it was encouraged, it was actually praised when you knock somebody out. If anybody hit your asses, they'll suspend them for 3 weeks. You couldn't even play when I played the game. And some of these fucks you're talking about, they couldn't even play when we played the game. And even to tap on to how dumb you are and how stupid y'all asses are with oh my God, when you started talking about, well, Deion couldn't play with these guys. I want to see him play with some real fast guys. See if he can play with all these speed guys. And then the first 2 examples you bring up was Chad Johnson and Justin Jefferson, who are not fast guys. So I'm sitting here saying, what the hell is he talking about? I don't mind you being stupid. I don't mind you being dumb. I don't mind you not knowing what the fuck you talking about, but keep my name out your mouth when you don't know what you're talking about. Keep my name and my image. Don't try to shit on my work when I won championships on every level. On every level, when they can knock niggas out. I call passes in the midst of pain. Y'all don't do that. Y'all ain't never had to do that. So shut the hell up. Motherfuckers. Trying to shit on my career, on what I have done. You or none of these fucks could play and do the things I did. So shut the hell up. Sick of this shit. I take it. I listen. What about talking about where he caught more pass? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about none of that. I won championships. That means I went in and made plays where pain lived. Y'all can't do that. Y'all ain't never did that. Y'all don't have to do that. You don't practice worth of shit. You don't take no hits. Everybody touch you, you throw a flag. You understand what I'm saying? Stop, man. Stop. I ain't trying to put nobody down, but I ain't gonna stay down and let you put me down. Are you joking? Are you joking? Dude, I'll catch 200 passes in today's game. Literally 200 passes a year. A year. I ain't never catch a pass behind the line of scrimmage in my whole career. All my passes were up the field in the midst of pain.
All right. So, play 2 clips there. One should be Shedeur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, and the other one should be Michael Irvin. So I'll put the Stefanski first, but let's address Shedeur. Obviously, Stefanski has some type of vendetta against Shedeur. I feel like the owner was like, I didn't want him. I feel like the coach didn't want him, and then I just feel like the Andrew Berry, the GM, wanted him, and I can see how he consoled him after the Panthers game. So I really think the coach and the GM, I don't know if they was hired together or whatever. I think the the owner, Jimmy Haslam, and the coach, they didn't want Shedeur Sanders. And I think Andrew Berry was like, yeah, I want him. So, and maybe, you know, rightfully so. When you say I don't want to go to Cleveland and, you know, I don't want to be in Cleveland or nothing like that, I get it. But when somebody don't want to be in your organization, why would you want them there? So Andrew Berry just was like, look here, man, I think the kid could be big time. We'll figure out the rest. I'm going to draft him. It was like, okay, do your job, draft him or whatever. And I think that's the situation. So you got to understand, too, there could be some vendettas against his father. You got to understand, too, that there's a narrative about him. See, I'm going to say one thing about Brad. You know, Brad don't understand black people. But the crazy thing about it is they envy the swag. They envy the masculinity. They envy that. When you got the swag, you got the confidence. They envy that. But that envy turns to hater, being a hater. Oh, why do they have to celebrate like that? Why do they have to be flashy like that? I mean, that's what it is. They don't want that. He don't want him to be the head of his football team. They want the clean cut Brad to be quarterback and do things like that. And that's just what it is. They don't like the personality. They don't like the persona. And a lot of times when people have a perception of you, they don't want to give you a chance. They don't want to give you an actual chance. So you have to remember that sometimes you come in with a deficit that you can't get yourself out of. You know, I remember I used to work at this sandwich shop when I was in college. And I think I told the story before a couple of times. And I worked at this sandwich shop or whatever. So the manager didn't like me, right? And what's so funny was nobody really liked the manager. And one of the guys that worked there was sleeping, had smashed his wife. And I think he might, or snatched his fiance to be. I think he ended up marrying her. And we used to joke about it all the time. So he didn't like me. But one day, all the managers got together. I think the majority of it was female, to be honest. At the time, it was all female. They gave me the employee of the month. He did not give me that award. So I didn't know nothing about it. So one of the managers, she was a really nice lady. Her name was Rhonda. Nice lady, sweet lady. She was like, yeah, man, we voted and gave you employee of the month. He won't give it to you. He just won't give it to you. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. He had a perception of me. And one night they hired this girl and she was a sweet girl. And, she needed some money. She needed money. So she told one of the managers, I think her name was Brandy. Her sob story show, he hired her, how women is. She really wasn't good at nothing. So it's me, her, and the manager there that night. And I wanted to get off and go be in the streets. So I worked the front and the back. I said, do the best you can do in the back. I do both. So I did every job. We got out on time. And he was like, yeah, man, you can get you a free meal. You can make you a free meal. You worked hard tonight or whatever, right there, right? So I'm like, that was him giving me my respect as a worker, but he didn't give me that award. So I remember I put my 2 weeks in and he was like, yeah, I know your parents raised you pretty good. You're going to be a man of your word and finish your days out. And I was going to finish my day off. The last day, funny shit about it, the last day, we basically had a kickback at my crib. And this was like, I think he scheduled me like the late shift, right? We had a kickback at the crib, like niggas smoking. I don't smoke. I didn't smoke. When niggas smoking, drinking, we playing back when I played 2K. Like, I'm like, dog, they was like, man, I wouldn't even go in that bitch. So they was like, don't even go in. So we just kicked back, played 2K, went to the club, had a night. They kept blowing my phone up and I ain't do it. But I was able to go back there, kick it with them. They give me food or whatever. And everybody else was they understood. But my point to say that is sometimes with people, a perception of you, right? Or a bad experience with you, you can't recover. You can't, no matter what you do, that's just what it is. And I think the perception of Shedeur Sanders and them was that's just what it was. Like, oh, he's this flashy and spoiled, entitled kid. But they don't probably want to get through the layers and get to know him. Oh, he's arrogant. He's an asshole. His father was like this. And that's what it is. I'm telling y'all, that's exactly what it is. So That's why you don't see, they hire their own. They hire their own. They want to keep the quarterback Brad. And that's one thing they had was quarterback. They don't have nothing on the field no more. Nowadays, half the league is black quarterbacks. You push Shedeur in there, it's a wrap. What do they have? Coaching, GM, and they only had that due to, opportunity. So shout out to him. But yeah, he gonna be QB. They gonna keep him at QB3. And guess what? Shit play out in different ways. People get theirs, and you get your blessings, and they gonna get what they got coming to them. But then you go into what Michael Irvin had to say, and I mean he said a lot. So apparently somebody trolled him and said that Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice couldn't play in this era. And I remember it was a video that I seen where the Young Bulls was saying, who would you rather have, Jerry Rice, or would you have Randy Moss or Justin Jefferson? It was Justin Jefferson or Randy Moss. Oh, they was all Justin Jefferson. Like, that's the era we live in. Like, I had this conversation with people all the time when I'm out and about. Like, I was like the greatest, three of the greatest athletes that ever played in sports. They wasn't from this era. When you look at Wilt Chamberlain's, all his complete attributes and his numbers, it's not probably no more. Nobody's more athletically gifted, strength, size, speed, agility than Wilt Chamberlain. Then you start talking about Bo Jackson, who ran a 4.1. Then you start talking about Deion Sanders. Then you start talking about how big and athletic just Jim Brown, Gale Sayers. When you start talking about even white guys like Tom Chambers and guys who can really jump and leap and who is very, very athletic. You know what I'm saying? Like, the greatest athletes is those guys. Dr. J hooping in Converses, Bill Russell and his athletic ability and measurements. Look that up. Long jumper, sprinter, all. So they have this impression that these athletes are better. They can't even stay healthy. That's a problem. You can't even stay healthy. So how are you a great athlete and you don't have availability? Without availability, there is no ability. So they have this perception that, the guy just put athletes, they big and strong and fragile. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the guys, the offensive linemen are bigger. But what do that mean? They getting ran around like cones, like traffic cones. And Michael got into it the point where he started going at today's players. Like, the rules is different. It wasn't he got put on a stretcher at the old vet in Philly. There was no defenseless receiver. When you knock somebody out in the game in high school, we used to celebrate. It was like, the fans would celebrate. That was a true gladiator sport. This is a controlled sport, a beta sport. This is a controlled sport. So he's absolutely right. All this, back then you can jam Jerry Rice all the way up the field. You can jam Michael Irvin up the field. There was no 5-yard chuck rule or press rule. You can press these dudes all the way up the field. So when they start getting into those situations where they start talking about, eras, like, this ain't even real football. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even real football. At one point, they could chop block. At one point, Deacon Jones was slapping guys upside their helmet. So Michael Irvin is 100% right. Like, y'all don't play the sport how it's supposed to be played. It's a controlled sport. Oh, let them catch the ball. Every time a great defense would win, especially late, early 2000s, they would change the rules. NBA did the same thing. Change the rules. Like, the way they play basketball now, every time they get bumped, every time they get touched, you know what I'm saying? What do they say? Oh, it's a foul. It's a foul. It's a foul. Like, no, it's a sport. You're supposed to be able to slap, grab, push. As soon as they back somebody down in the NBA and they do like this, it's a foul. Every time the guy with the basketball bump into you, it's a foul on you. Like, the sports is trash. They don't have the balls or the mental fortitude, or they not even physically built to play the sport to play sports how Michael played them, how Dumars played them, how Wilt played them, how Bill Russell played them, how Deacon Jones played them, how Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice played them. It was a different ball game. You ain't go across the middle. You ain't go across the middle and they let you catch it. No, you go across the middle, you get, man, dude, they will send you to the upper Ronnie lot, will clap you. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the NFL playlist. Hit the link tree. You can join the Patreon. Do appreciate that. Free for 7 days. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, everywhere. Kick the whole 9. Peace.